Welcome to Mysterious Story Posting, where we dive deep into the most mysterious and spine-chilling true crime stories. Today, we will uncover the unsettling tale of Roland T. On January 2nd, 1935, a man named Roland T. Owen checked into the President Hotel in Kansas City, Missouri. He seemed like an ordinary guest, but what followed was anything but ordinary. Roland T. Owen walked into the hotel with just a few items: a brush, comb, and toothpaste. He requested an interior room on an upper floor and was shown to room 1046 by bellhop Randolph Probst. Little did Probst know, the next time he'd see Owen, he'd be barely alive, tied up, and severely injured. During his stay, hotel maid Mary Soptic noticed Owen's strange behavior. He sat in the dark, with the curtains closed, only lit by a dim lamp. Owen asked Mary to leave the door unlocked because he was expecting someone. Hours later, she found a note on his desk that read, "Dawn, I will be back in 15 minutes. Wait." On January 3rd, Mary found Owen sitting quietly in his dark room. The phone rang, and Owen said, "No, Dawn, I don't want to eat. I am not hungry." Later, Mary tried to bring fresh towels, but a different man's voice told her they didn't need any. That night, guests reported hearing loud voices and arguing. On the morning of January 4th, at around 7 a.m., hotel operator Della Ferguson noticed the phone in room 1046 was off the hook. She asked bellhop Randolph Probst to check it out. When Probst got to the room, he saw a "Do Not Disturb" sign and knocked. He heard a faint voice say, "Come in," but the door was locked from the inside. When he knocked again, the voice said, "Turn on the lights." Thinking the guest might be drunk or sleepy, Probst told him to put the phone back and left. About an hour and a half later, at 8:30 a.m., Ferguson saw the phone was still off the hook and sent another bellhop, Harold Pike, to room 1046. Pike found the door still locked but used a key to enter. With only the hallway light, he saw a man, likely Owen, lying on the bed with darkened sheets around him. Assuming Owen was drunk and had made a mess, Pike quickly put the phone back on the hook, locked the door, and left. 2 hours later, the head operator, Betty Cole, saw the phone was off the hook again and sent Randolph Probst to the room. Probst knocked loudly several times, and when there was no answer, he used a key to enter room 1046. In front of him was Roland T. Owen, naked on all fours on the ground, holding his head to his hands. Probst could see blood on Owen's head and immediately turned on the lights. The sight frightened Probst. The light had revealed blood splattered all along the walls, bathroom, and bed. Probst ran out of the room, finding his manager, Mass Weaver, and told him what he had seen. While Owen was rushed to the hospital, the police started their investigation. The hotel room was nearly empty. Items like soap, shampoo, and towels were missing. Oddly, all of Owen's clothes were gone. No coat, shirt, pants, socks, or shoes. The only things left in the room were 2 empty water glasses, an unlit cigarette, a hairpin, a safety pin, and a bottle of diluted sulfuric acid. One of the glasses was broken in the sink, and the other had 4 fingerprints, likely from a woman. With no leads, detectives questioned other guests and hotel staff. They checked the register and saw Roland T. Owen listed Los Angeles as his hometown. However, the LA police found no record of him. Detectives began to doubt if the man in the hospital was really Roland T. Sadly, they couldn't ask him, as he died from his injuries shortly after midnight. The murder was widely covered by local newspapers. When it came out that the police weren't sure if the man was really named Roland T. Owen, many people tried to identify him by sending photos of missing relatives and calling in with questions. Owen's body was taken to the Melody McGilly Funeral Home, where several dozen people tried to identify him. The police followed several leads, but none provided clear answers. Only more questions. Sightings: one man, Robert Lane, believed he gave Owen a ride to a taxi on January 3rd around 10 p.m. Detectives later dismissed this lead after hotel staff denied seeing Owen return with injuries or bleeding before finding him on January 4th. Dr. Flanders also estimated that Owen's injuries occurred around 4 or 5 a.m. based on the blood hardening on his body and in the room. One lead did allow the detectives to establish Owen was seen with 2 unidentified women in different liquor stores between January 2 and 3rd, but nothing more came of this. The detectives then followed up on the small talk Owen had with Randolph Probst and Mary Soptic. Owen had told both he stayed in the Hotel Muehlebach the previous night, but left when they tried to increase the price. When detectives checked the register in Hotel Muehlebach, they found no Roland T. Owen, but the front desk stated a man who looked like Owen did stay in the hotel the night in question and had listed his home as Los Angeles. except the name used was Eugene K. Scott. Another lead led the detectives to another name used by Owen, Cecil Werner. Owen had attempted to be signed for some wrestling matches using that name. On March, an announcement was made in the papers. The man who claimed to be Roland T. Owen would be buried in a pauper's grave. That same day, the Melody McGilly Funeral Home received an anonymous phone call asking for Owen not to be buried yet. They promised to send money to cover the cost of a proper funeral. 3 weeks later, on March 23rd, the funeral home received a specially delivered envelope containing cash, enough to pay for the funeral and burial in Memorial Park Cemetery. The funeral home also received a floral tribute for Owen with a card reading, "Love forever, Louise." Besides that name, the sender and caller remained anonymous, and no one besides detectives attended the funeral. The trail went cold once again. Nearly 2 years after the murder, Kansas City police heard from a woman named Ruby Ogletree. She saw Owen's picture and feared the worst. After confirming scars and other features, it was revealed that Roland T. Owen was actually Artemis Ogletree, Ruby's son. Despite knowing his true identity, more questions arose. Ruby said Artemis left home in 1934 to travel, and she received handwritten letters from him until 1935, when she started getting typed ones. These typed letters came after Artemis had already been murdered. In 1936, before she knew about his death, Ruby tried to find Artemis with help from the U.S. consul in Cairo, Egypt, but they couldn't confirm he had been there. Detectives also found that Artemis had stayed at another Kansas City hotel with another man, possibly Don. Before his death, the case went cold again, leaving many questions and theories. Owen, or Artemis Ogletree, left behind a trail of unanswered questions. His tragic end in room 1046 at the President Hotel remains one of the most perplexing unsolved mysteries in American history. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales of the unexplained and the macabre. And remember, sometimes the most terrifying stories are the ones that are true. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.